Picture this: September 2019, Wellington, Florida. A man named Brian Hausman is sitting at his computer, browsing Google Earth. He's zooming around his neighborhood, looking at satellite images of homes, streets, parks. It's something he does sometimes, out of curiosity. He zooms in on a retention pond near a residential development. It's just a small pond, probably man-made for drainage. Nothing special, but something catches his eye. There, beneath the water, barely visible in the satellite image, is the outline of something, a shape. It looks like a car. Brian zooms in closer. The water is murky, greenish, but the outline is unmistakable. There's a white vehicle submerged in the pond. You can see the roof, the trunk. It's been there a while, maybe years. Brian calls the police. They investigate. They send divers into the pond, and what they find changes everything. It's a white car. Inside are skeletal remains, the remains of a man who has been missing for 22 years. His name was William Moldt. He disappeared in 1997 after leaving a nightclub. His family searched for him. The police searched, but no one found him. For 22 years, his disappearance was a mystery. And then in 2019, someone browsing Google Earth found him, in a pond that had been there all along, visible from space, waiting to be discovered. This is one of many real mysteries that have been solved by Google Earth. Missing people found, lost cities discovered, ancient structures revealed, crimes exposed, archaeological treasures uncovered. Google Earth, a tool that lets anyone explore the planet from their computer, has become an accidental detective, a digital archaeologist, a global search party. This is the story of mysteries solved by Google Earth. Real cases, real discoveries, real lives changed. Let me take you through some of the most incredible, heartbreaking, and fascinating stories of what happens when satellite imagery meets human curiosity. Before we dive into the mysteries, let's understand what Google Earth is and how it works. Google Earth launched in 2005. It's a program that combines satellite imagery, aerial photography, and GIS data to create a 3D representation of Earth. You can zoom in on any location, see streets, buildings, landscapes. You can rotate the view, tilt it, explore cities in 3D. The imagery comes from multiple sources. Satellites orbiting Earth capture images constantly. Some images are recent, updated every few weeks or months. Others are older, archived from years ago. Google Earth also includes Street View, where you can see 360-degree photographs from street level. For most people, Google Earth is a curiosity, a way to see their house from space, to explore distant countries, to plan vacations. But for some, it's become a tool for discovery. Archaeologists use it to find ancient sites, environmentalists use it to track deforestation, and ordinary people, browsing out of curiosity, sometimes stumble upon things that have been hidden for years. Like a car at the bottom of a pond with a missing man inside. Let's start with the story that opened this narrative. The case of William Moldt. William Earl Moldt was 40 years old in 1997. He lived in Lantana, Florida. On the night of November 7, 1997, he went to a nightclub. He called his girlfriend around 9:30 p.m. to say he was on his way home. He never arrived. His car, a white 1994 Saturn, disappeared with him. The police investigated. They searched. His family put up flyers, offered rewards, but there were no leads, no witnesses, no evidence. William Moldt had vanished. Years passed. His family never stopped wondering what happened. Did he leave voluntarily? Was he the victim of foul play? Did he have an accident? The answer was in a pond, a retention pond in the Grand Isles community in Wellington, Florida. It was a development that didn't exist in 1997, but was built in the years after. The pond was part of the drainage system. And William's car was in it, had been for over 2 decades. In September 2019, Brian Hausman, a former resident of the area who had since moved away, was looking at the neighborhood on Google Earth. He noticed something in the pond. The water was clear enough in the satellite image that you could see the outline of a submerged vehicle. He contacted a friend who still lived nearby. They looked at it together on Google Earth. They agreed it looked like a car. They called the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. Deputies responded. They sent divers into the pond. The car was there, about 15 feet down. Inside were skeletal remains, and a Florida license plate. The plate traced back to William Moldt. After 22 years, the mystery was solved. William had driven into the pond, probably at night, possibly after drinking. The pond wasn't there when the neighborhood was less developed. It's possible he took a wrong turn, drove into the water, and drowned. The car sank. Over time, the neighborhood was built up around it. The pond became part of the landscape. No one thought to look there. William's remains were returned to his family. They finally had closure. Google Earth, a tool millions use every day for fun or navigation, had solved a 22-year-old missing person case. In 2010, an Italian computer scientist named Vincenzo De Michele was using Google Earth to explore the Sahara Desert. He was interested in geology and geography, so he often spent time looking at remote areas. While zooming over a region in southwestern Egypt, near the Libyan border, he noticed something unusual, a strange circular feature. It was in the Gilf Kebir Plateau, one of the most remote and inhospitable places on Earth. The feature looked like a crater, but not just any crater. It was huge, about 45 meters in diameter, and its shape, its structure, suggested it might be an impact crater, a place where a meteorite slammed into Earth thousands or millions of years ago. Vincenzo contacted scientists. A team led by mineralogist Mario Di Martino investigated. They traveled to the site, which required extensive planning because of its remoteness. What they found confirmed it. This was indeed an impact crater, now named the KAMIL crater. The crater was remarkably well preserved. In the desert with little erosion, it looked almost fresh. Scientists estimated the meteorite that created it hit Earth about 5,000 years ago. Fragments of the iron meteorite were scattered around the crater, some weighing over 80 kilograms. Before Google Earth, this crater was unknown. The area is so remote that no one had stumbled upon it, but satellite imagery made it visible. A man sitting at his computer in Italy discovered something that had been hidden in the desert for millennia. The KAMIL crater discovery sparked interest in using Google Earth for scientific research. If someone could find a crater by accident, what else was out there waiting to be discovered? The answer, a lot. In 2012, American Egyptologist Angela Micol was using Google Earth to study the Nile Delta and the Egyptian desert. She was looking for patterns, anomalies, anything that might indicate ancient structures buried beneath the sand. She found something incredible. In two separate locations, she identified unusual mound formations. They were symmetrical, arranged in specific patterns. To her trained eye, they looked like they could be pyramids, buried pyramids. The first site was near Abu Sidhum, along the Nile. The second was near Fayum. Both showed elevated mounds in patterns consistent with pyramid complexes. Michael's discovery went viral. News outlets reported that Google Earth might have found lost pyramids. Egyptologists were skeptical but intrigued. Some pointed out that the formations could be natural or could be ruins of other structures. Expeditions were organized. In 2013, researchers visited the sites. Ground-penetrating radar and other tools were used. The results were mixed. Some findings suggested the mounds were indeed man-made structures, possibly from Egypt's ancient past. Others suggested they were natural formations or later constructions. As of now, the mystery isn't fully solved. Excavations are ongoing. But the point remains, Google Earth allowed someone thousands of miles away to identify potential archaeological sites that had been overlooked. Egypt is full of undiscovered ruins. The desert buries them. Google Earth might help us find them. In 2005, shortly after Google Earth launched, a team of Italian archaeologists led by Rosa Lasapanara and Nicola Massini used it to scan Iraq and Syria. They were looking for ancient Roman sites that might have been lost or forgotten. What they found was stunning. Using Google Earth's satellite imagery, they identified over 1,000 previously unknown ancient sites, Roman forts, roads, settlements, structures that were invisible from the ground but clear from space. In one case, they found an entire Roman fortress in southern Tunisia. It had been buried by sand, completely hidden, but from space, the outline was visible. The fortress was excavated and studied, revealing details about Rome's presence in North Africa. Google Earth became a tool for archaeologists. Instead of spending years wandering deserts, hoping to stumble upon ruins, they could scan vast areas quickly. They could identify patterns, spot anomalies, and target their fieldwork. This method, called satellite archaeology or remote sensing, has revolutionized the field. Google Earth, combined with other tools like LiDAR and infrared imaging, has led to thousands of discoveries. In 2018, a group of amateur archaeologists in Australia was using Google Earth to explore the Nullarbor Plain, a remote desert region. They noticed strange repeating patterns, lines, circles, shapes that looked deliberate. They contacted professional archaeologists. Investigations revealed these were ancient Aboriginal sites, stone arrangements created thousands of years ago by indigenous Australians. The sites had been there all along, but they were in such remote areas that few people had seen them. Google Earth made them visible. It gave researchers a way to catalog and study them without disturbing the sites. In 2018, British police received a report of a possible drug operation. Detectives began investigating, but they needed evidence. Where was the operation happening? One detective decided to use Google Earth. He searched properties owned by the suspects, and there in the backyard of a rural home, visible in satellite imagery, were rows and rows of plants, greenhouses, a massive cannabis farm. The imagery was clear enough to count the plants. Armed with this evidence, police obtained a warrant, raided the property and arrested the suspects. They seized thousands of cannabis plants worth millions of pounds. This wasn't the first time Google Earth helped catch criminals. There have been dozens of cases where drug farms, illegal construction, smuggling operations and other crimes were discovered through satellite imagery. In the Netherlands, authorities used Google Earth to find illegal cannabis farms hidden in warehouses. In Spain, tax authorities used it to find undeclared swimming pools and buildings, leading to millions in recovered taxes. In Italy, illegal construction in protected areas was identified and prosecuted. Criminals often think they're hidden, but from space, everything is visible. In 2021, in Miami, Florida, a real estate developer named Fernando Villarino was browsing Google Earth, looking at properties. He zoomed in on a lake near a residential area, and he saw something strange. Beneath the water, there was the outline of a car. It looked just like the Moldt case. He contacted police. Divers investigated. Inside the submerged car were human remains. The remains were identified as those of a woman who had been missing since 2006. She had disappeared without a trace. For 15 years her family had no answers. Google Earth provided them. Another missing person found in a body of water, visible from space. There have been multiple cases like this. People missing for years, decades, found because someone noticed something in a satellite image. Why weren't they found earlier? Often the bodies of water where the cars are found are retention ponds, canals, or lakes that aren't regularly searched. They're murky, overgrown, no one thinks to look there. But satellite imagery, especially in certain conditions of light and water clarity, can reveal what's beneath. Google Earth has become an accidental search tool for the missing. In 2016, hikers in Siberia stumbled upon something bizarre in Google Earth. A series of craters in the permafrost, some enormous. The largest was about 50 meters wide and over 70 meters deep. These craters had appeared suddenly in recent years. Scientists were baffled. What caused them? Research revealed they were caused by methane gas explosions. As Siberia's permafrost melts due to climate change, pockets of methane trapped underground are released. When the pressure builds up, it explodes, creating craters. Google Earth allowed scientists to track these craters, study their formation and understand the role of climate change. It became a tool for environmental research. Similarly, Google Earth has been used to track deforestation in the Amazon. Researchers can compare images from different years and see exactly how much forest has been lost. They can identify illegal logging operations, report them to authorities, and track the damage. Google Earth has become a witness to environmental destruction and a tool to fight it. In 2007, Italian archaeologist Stefano De Angeli was using Google Earth to explore the Venetian region. He noticed unusual formations in a lagoon near Venice, circular shapes arranged in patterns. Further investigation revealed these were remnants of an ancient Roman port, structures that had been submerged for centuries. The port had been lost to history, but Google Earth brought it back to light. In Peru, researchers used Google Earth to study the Nazca lines, massive geoglyphs etched into the desert. But they also found new geoglyphs that had never been documented, shapes and lines visible from space but overlooked by people on the ground. In Cambodia, archaeologist Damien Evans used Google Earth and LiDAR to map the area around Angkor Wat. He discovered that the ancient city was much larger than previously thought. Entire neighborhoods, roads and water systems were hidden beneath the jungle, visible only from above. Google Earth is rewriting history. Sites we thought we knew are being seen in new ways. Sites we didn't know existed are being found. Not all discoveries are ancient. Some are modern and chilling. In 2011, human rights investigators used Google Earth to document atrocities in Darfur, Sudan. They identified villages that had been burned to the ground. By comparing satellite images from before and after attacks, they could see the destruction, count destroyed buildings, and provide evidence of war crimes. In North Korea, analysts use Google Earth to study the secretive country. They've identified prison camps, military installations, mass graves. The regime tries to hide these, but satellite imagery reveals them. In Syria, during the civil war, Google Earth was used to document the destruction of cultural heritage sites. Ancient ruins bombed, historical buildings reduced to rubble. The imagery served as evidence for international courts. Google Earth has become a tool for accountability. Tyrants and war criminals can't hide from space. Google Earth also has limits. Not all imagery is high resolution. Some areas are blurry, outdated or obscured by clouds, and some places are deliberately censored. Certain military installations, government buildings and sensitive sites are blurred or pixelated in Google Earth. For example, parts of Area 51 in Nevada, nuclear facilities and some royal residences are obscured. Additionally, Google Earth shows the past. The images you're looking at might be months or years old, so if something was there once but isn't anymore, you might not know. And sometimes, what looks like a discovery is just an optical illusion, a glitch, or misidentification. For example, in 2009, someone claimed to have found Atlantis off the coast of Africa, using Google Earth. The city was a grid of lines on the ocean floor. It went viral, but Google explained it was simply sonar data artifacts, not an underwater city. Similarly, people have claimed to see UFOs, monsters, and all sorts of strange things in Google Earth imagery. Most are explained as shadows, reflections, or image stitching errors. But the real discoveries, the missing people, the ancient sites, the crimes exposed are real. They're documented, verified, and life-changing. Google Earth was never designed to solve mysteries. It was designed to let people explore the world, but in doing so it gave billions of people a god's-eye view of the planet. And when billions of eyes are looking, things get found. A man missing for 22 years, found in a pond, a Roman fortress, buried in Tunisian sand, a cannabis farm in a backyard, ancient pyramids beneath the desert, missing hikers, war crimes, environmental destruction. All visible from space, all found by people sitting at computers, clicking around, curious about what they might see. Google Earth reminds us that mysteries surround us. Things hidden in plain sight, answers waiting to be discovered. Sometimes all it takes is the right angle, the right light, and someone willing to look. William Moldt's family finally got closure. Ancient civilizations are being rediscovered. Criminals are being caught. The missing are being found. And every day someone somewhere is opening Google Earth, zooming in and noticing something strange, something that might be the key to a mystery. The world is big, but from space, nothing stays hidden forever. Google Earth, a tool for exploration, and accidentally a tool for solving mysteries. What will be found next?